Yeah, it worked.
All right. We have our old school retro photo coming out.
Excellent. I'm not sure how that turned out.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, just shake it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I am here with Dan Bader from RealPython.com, Jeffrey Palermo, community reporter here at the Development and Architecture Center, talking about Python with probably one of the industry's leading experts. How are you, Dan?
Pretty good, Jeff. Nice meeting you. This is a good conference so far.
Absolutely. So there's so much today going on about development, and Python is one of the languages we are hearing all over the place. What are the stats? How's the popularity of Python coming?
Yeah, it's been, Python has just been exploding, to summarize it. It's now, depending on which sort of top 10 list you look at, which survey you look at, it's definitely in the top 3 in terms of language popularity. And I mean, it wasn't there 5 years ago, and it's had this like exploding popularity in the last couple of years, yeah.
Now, we have this developer DNA where people are listing and talking about the languages they're using, and Python is one of the ones that is kind of, it's all up there.
Yeah,
exactly. And so why is it you think that Python has grown in popularity over the years?
Personally, what I like about it is that it's a language that can really scale. Like, it can go from someone who's a complete beginner, it's maybe their first language that they're learning, all the way to production applications that are built on it. Like Instagram is built on Python, for example, like to throw out some apps. And I think that is pretty amazing because it could be a teaching language on the one side, and it can go all the way to hosting some of the biggest websites or infrastructure in the world, and to me that is pretty amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, we have all the languages here, but at the same time we have editors.
Oh, yeah.
What are the most popular editors that people are using with Python?
Yeah. So I think VS Code is definitely up there among like the top editors that are really popular. Personally, I'm a big Sublime fan. Obviously, you have Emacs and Vim for the people who really like to tinker with things and get a really super customized setup. And then there's also an IDE that's very popular. It's called PyCharm.
From JetBrains. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's always great when there's an easy IDE to get started with the language, but when we're actually coding, tabs versus spaces, what is it in the Python world, or is it divided?
So I was shocked to see this, that so many people went with tabs instead of spaces, because I'm a huge spaces guy, and to me it was really shocking to see there were so many people who are going with tabs. I think for Python, the recommendation I believe is spaces, if you look at the official style guide recommendations, but of course it supports both, and apparently a lot of people like using tabs, so nothing wrong with that.
Okay, so this official recommendation guide for people who are interested in getting into Python, but they haven't just yet, where do they need to be going to get the official and the guidance? What central organization makes up what Python is?
Gotcha. Okay, so there's the Python Software Foundation that is kind of the entity behind Python, because Python is a massive open source project, so it has lots of contributors from around the world, and the PSF, the Software Foundation, they're kind of structuring and funding some of the development, and they're also hosting the biggest conferences in that space. And so, were you wondering where should people go in terms of if they wanted to check out the language and?
Yeah, well, we were arguing over tabs versus spaces, and if there's you appeal to an authority figure, which I'm going to tell you, hey, tabs, because come on, just to be a contrarian.
Yeah. So Python has this really interesting sort of governance process, and the way it works internally is that anybody could submit a Python enhancement proposal. Called a PEP or PEP for short, and so there's one called PEP 8 that has the recommendations as far as the stylistic recommendation, what's idiomatic, what is quote unquote Pythonic, which is a word that we throw around all the time in the Python community. What is idiomatic code, what is beautiful, nice looking code, and PEP 8 makes those recommendations. How should you indent your code blocks and all of these things.
So I've heard of Pythonic. And I'm not a career-long Python developer. I would consider myself a dabbler here and there. But what's an example of Pythonic? And then how would you know, oh, that's not Pythonic?
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, Pythonic means idiomatic code. Something that is very. That's the way to do something in Python, because there's always with any programming language, 1,000 ways to do the same thing. And even though that's not really like the philosophy behind Python, but still, you have like maybe 3, 4, 5 options to do something. And so Python has this really interesting language feature called list comprehensions. So it's something, the first time I heard about it was in Haskell. And I never like really made friends with Haskell, to be honest, for doing anything productive with it. But I toyed with it, played with it.
It does rhyme with Pascal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I also use that. It doesn't have the list comprehension still. And so what a list comprehension is basically like a mathematical definition of a list. So you could say, this list contains every second object in a range of 1 to 10 or something like that. And you could actually express it that concisely in Python. Like a filter, it's basically like a filter and a map function combined into a syntactical construct that's in the language. So it's like a native language feature that's in there. And so a lot of things that you would do with a for loop, for example, in another language, you could actually do with a list comprehension in Python. So that would be a typical thing where a beginner would get feedback on their code, and they would say like, oh, you could reduce this whole 10-line snippet into a really nice and concise list comprehension.
Okay, so if people are getting into Python and they're wondering, what types of applications can I write? What are the most popular types that you see out there in the wild?
I would say web development is it's really popular there. Obviously more on the back end side, like interacting with databases, building APIs with it. There's some very popular frameworks for that are long established, very stable, very mature. And then these days, I think it's also, Python is really big in the data science community. So, and I would also lump in machine learning or AI, if you will, with that. So there's some really good frameworks for that, like PyTorch and some other ones, scikit-learn, that have just exploded in popularity. And I think it's actually what's lifting Python so much in popularity, just because the tooling is fantastic, for data scientists, analysts of any kind that are working with the language. It's just a really enjoyable language to work with. And the great thing is, if you're using, let's say, you're using Python to do your number crunching, and you're using Python for your research work, and you're using Python also to host the backend of your application, it's a very small jump to actually roll out something in production. Whereas if you were writing your analytics code in a different language, you would have to translate some of that and then basically port it into Python or into whatever backend language you're using. But if you can do a lot in your stack just purely with Python. Yeah. Okay.
So 2 buzzwords that we're hearing around Ignite is Django and Jupyter. Can you shed some light on those? Absolutely. Some context.
Yeah, I'd love to. So Django is a very popular web framework. So what people would use on the backend side to interact with databases, maybe also build web APIs and stuff like that. And it is one of the 2 most popular frameworks. The other one is called Flask, which is more like a micro framework. So it's kind of like a grab bag of different things. You can mix and match yourself. Whereas Django is more like, here's a box that you should use, and it has everything you need, and it's all in this one box. So I'm a big Django fan, but there's different frameworks that are also popular. And then Jupyter, or Jupyter Notebooks, is a coding environment, an IDE for data scientists and data analysts. So it's kind of a beautiful thing. It's like a document. Imagine like a Word document combined with a REPL, like a Python code interpreter kind of mixed into it. So you could write your sort of explanations there, mathematical formulas, and other sort of related content, like an image, for example, and then actually write the analysis code in there to maybe run some kind of regression or output some kind of table. And you would actually write the code in that document as well, hit run, and the output also ends up in the document. So it's kind of a beautiful combination and a very interactive environment.
So people can ask questions at a session, but there's an idea wall right over here. And if you're coming by the Development and Architecture Center, then make sure to check it out. Back to you.
All right, let's